Give it a sec. They may reconnect. Yo, how you doing, Immortal?
I'll let my co-host take over.
What's up, man? ConsciousOutlawMedia.com. It is 2:20 Eastern Standard Time, 1:20 Pacific's. No, slow it down. It is 1:20 Eastern Standard Time. No, still wrong. It's 12:20 Eastern Standard Time, 1:20 Central Standard Time, 12:20 Mountain Standard Time, 11:20 Pacific Standard Time. Outlaw Media time check. Wow, what the fuck is going the fuck on?
What's poppin', man? Something happened?
Yeah,
What happened?
you want to know what?
What happened?
What the fuck happened is we have people being disrespectful. We have people that don't do nothing but want to babble on spaces. And it's a nice little Saturday, man. This has been a lot of interesting things going on. So, Immortal, since you decided to grace me with your presence, Bass Reeves and Candace Outlaw want to know how are you feeling today with the state of things of people actually tearing down work, looking like operatives, and then turn around and calling people operatives, and people that sit here and try to say what they're doing is progressing us, but it's really not.
Yeah, that's a real interesting dynamic, you know, and you really have to do a lot of reaching and a lot of twisting. Like, for example, for example, you want to talk about delineation. Um, for example, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was the original delineator. She's the original in the field of science. She broke it all the way down for you in the field of science, and all her work in the scientific field and all her education, she used it to first and foremost benefit Black Americans. And anyone who tries to say that her work, her scientific work, is obsolete is fooling themselves. That's ridiculous because the human mind is not obsolete. The human mind and the human uh, condition is as old as time itself. And even if you go throughout whoever, you can find all these scriptures, for example. All they do is give you examples of motivations and personalities and people, that they have today, even written from back then. So you can't tell me that in the field of psychology, she working on the field of psychology for our people here in the United States, first and foremost. Now, being a scientist, of course, the science is going to be, you know, uh, studied by all types of people. Pans ain't the only ones study her shit. White folks study her shit too. And they always try to think of ways to put it down or say there's something wrong with it. No, and it's Crest Welsing theory. And her theory has never been disproven. Nothing in the Crest Welsing her theories that she presented has ever been disproven. So for someone to try to even insinuate that anything that she had to offer is obsolete and has no value and needs to be put to the side, um, is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We're talking about psychology and biology. It has not, that psychology and biology don't have nothing to do with pan. Now, if the pans go out there and take the science and begin to use it, uh, you know, for their own goals, how you gonna sit back and put that on the teacher? And why would you detract from what she gave? You need to be exercising all that information that she left before us. You need to be pouring over every word she said and not just skimming over it, trying to find any word or phrase that might lead credence to your flawed understanding. You want to paint a picture about this woman that she's not. She's a scientist, and she gave us science in her field. And if you're not using that science, if you're not using that psychology that's going on, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Apologize about that. Okay. Yeah. If you ain't trying to do that, you ain't trying to learn that how to move around this thing, and you talk about results. You talk about results. Uh, Dr. Welsing theories have never been disproven. They've always ever been bolstered. Everything you see when you talk about psychology, everything you watch, always lends credence to her theories, so much so till it's really the law. Just like any other scientific theory, at some point, there's so much evidence that points to that fact, and the fact goes on and on without being disproven. Then it becomes a scientific law. The research has been done, you know. And as far as uh, anything in her work where she uses the science of biology to identify and categorize different groups on the planet, that don't have shit to do with pan. See? Oh, she mentioned everybody on the planet. Oh, see, that's pan. No, it ain't. Asians ain't Africans, niggas. Asians are not African, and she delineated from them too. Delineated from all types of groups. Delineation. This is how you look. This is what this group is. This is how they interact with white people. She told you about how Asians interact with white people, what their motivations are, all these things. She taught that. And so how could you turn that on its head? You know, you just can't. She taught delineation. Look, this is how Asians interact. This is why. Because of the genetic factor. She was a biologist and a scientist. Scientist in psychology, scientist in biology. This is not ideology. This is science, scientific method. She used it. The scientific method. She used it. This is not ideology. She didn't come out selling no ideology. As a matter of fact, when they did speak on it, you know, it wasn't flattering to the pans. No, it's not pan ideology. It's the opposite of pan ideology. And what she put together with the ISIS papers was how to break them down psychologically, showing you how they break you down psychologically, how they build themselves up psychologically, and how you can build yourself up psychologically. Because he's a psychiatrist, not some pan ideologist. She espoused an independent approach to fighting racism, an independent approach. She helped and subscribe to independent, compensatory, counter-racist action. Not go get with every pan on the planet, go get with everybody that look like you. Don't go. No, what are you going to do? How are you going to live? Here's a set of guidelines that you can live. And when you run into any of these situations that's been laid out before you, you'll know what to do. You already had the psychology. She already told you what's in their mind. Before you even stand in front of them, you already know what their motivations are, what they psychological proclivities are, no matter who they are. And she's ours. I'm gonna land with this, man. She's ours. She belongs to us. She don't belong to Pan. She never did. She's a scientist, and she used the scientific method, and nothing that she's ever said has ever been disproven. So to skim through her work and try to find little phrases, little words, and to use Pan Africans, what they say about her work is disingenuous. Pans try to take over everything we do. They are out there right now talking about they made hip hop, but you can understand that. You can understand that we made hip hop, and it's evidence all up to that, you know, and they just being, assholes. You can understand.
Exactly. Hold on, Immortal. CR got his hand up. He came in here. Check. Hold on.
No, it's because that's
Go
what the
ahead.
problem is now. That's what the problem is, man. Fuck that. Hold on a second. And not to be disrespectful, respectfully, but fuck that. Hold on a second. Because the bullshit gets started, and I need to get this off when the bullshit get going. If you can understand, and hip hop is trying to be co-opted by anybody and everybody outside of our community, then understand this. We have a scientist, one of the greatest scientific minds in the last century, came from us, and her work was for us. Now, are other people around the world using it? Yes. Are we using it like we should? I don't think so. But you're not gonna come
Fact.
around and try to give. If you can understand that hip hop gets co-opted, nigga, you can understand that that's what they're trying to do to her scientific work that's never been disproven, and that's what the fuck it is. Yo, what's happening, man?
Look, hey, Immortal. So yeah, that's what's up. So I put some in the jumbotron because this is what it is. Niggas need education. Check that last thing in the jumbotron. I'm gonna let you know this because I did a space on my work. I'd rather go after the 1/5 of our government that's sitting in power, holding our hashtag reparations. But since people think it's more important to go and tear down ancestral work, here you go. I can do two things at once. When you strip things away from a people, you need to replace it with something better. Otherwise, you are just working for our oppressors. Instead of trying to strip and debunk, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson added, there are 10 areas of human activity white supremacy dominates. This is the
Now what?
framework. This is the framework of white
Go ahead.
supremacy.
Whoever, because I
Just
can't hear nothing and
because
nobody now, and I'm glad this shit is recorded.
just because we want
Well, let me drop
reparations.
that and come back in because I can't hear nobody now.
Do that. Draw head, drop down. Just because we want reparations, tearing down ancestral work, just because some of the enemies use it, do not negate the fact that we need to educate ourselves. Number one, economics. Black Americans control no aspect of our own economics other than small businesses. Number two, education. Black Americans do not control curriculum that is taught. Number three, labor. Not one single labor market is exclusively controlled by Black Americans. Not one, let me break it down. Labor. That's one of the areas of human activity we made to three. Not one single labor market is exclusively controlled by Black Americans. Number four, entertainment. Self-explanatory. We know who runs the entertainment industry from movies to music, and it's not Black Americans. Five, politics. Black Americans do not exclusively run any area or phase or stage of government. Six, religion. All major religions are not ran by Black Americans exclusively. Side note, the first form of religion was government. Seven, sex. Everybody loves sex. Let's twerk, Twerkiana. My pussy hole pink and my booty hole brown. Okay, sex. Black Americans don't have control over how sex is perceived far as reproduction. Actually, what sex is intended for, aka Planned Parenthood and eugenics. 8. War. Come on now. Do I gotta explain this? We are not supreme in any warfare since ancient times. 9. Law. Black Americans do not control or make any of the laws that have been on the books for the last 400 years. Number 10, with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and her science added, what she added, she didn't strip down nothing. She added the fact that health, Black Americans do not control or supreme in any of the areas that have to do with our mental or physical health. I want somebody to come here and shoot that down. Shoot that down. Go ahead, CR.
Yeah, what's going on with your brother Conscious? I was wanting to say to brother Immortal, I'm like, man, if y'all really, well, the both of y'all, honestly, because all of this shit that's been going on the timeline, bruh, as far as the differences of opinions that we are going to share in this fight that we're having for reparations, bruh, when we are talking to, well, I've been saying it too, like, sometimes we do need to upgrade some shit, but it isn't to get rid of it completely. It's to make it more modernized. Just like when I read those treaties, I'm modernizing it. I'm putting it in our vernacular, how we speak today, translating it to the laws that it still applies to today. You know what I'm saying? So we can have that understanding of what we're actually looking at, because they use a lot of bullshit, you know what I'm saying, language in between, or just a word salad just to kind of throw you off, you dig? So I'm not bashing none of the works, but I am questioning everything, you know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't apply to our fight today, I'm still gonna have I have my reserves as a grown ass man that asks questions and to question even our scholars, you know what I'm saying? Because we are becoming those new scholars. We are the ones that's pushing, that's in this fight now. So we're picking up that mantle. So we shouldn't look at it as we're trying to talk down on our ancestors and our elders that have done the footwork so we could jump in this race. You know what I'm saying? The baton is being passed. So we got to
I
get
want
up to
to.
speed.
You're right. Go ahead, Land. My fault. I ain't going to cut you off. Go ahead.
Nah, you good. I'm just saying, you know, you did. The baton is being passed. We're getting up to speed. You know what I'm saying? We some of us has been in this fight a year and a half and continuing to move forward. We see how much we are being bombarded with bullshit every day from not only these immigrants but even within our ranks too. So it's only right that we question everything. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not gonna question anything, you'll be a fool for anything, even if it is something that's already been proven or has some kind of literacy weight to it. You know what I'm saying? If the research has been done, we aren't combating that. We are trying to apply it to times of now, because these motherfuckers who we're fighting against are hitting us at every angle. We got to be able to game ourselves up and to have a different mindset instead of being locked into the information that we receive by looking through these books, by looking through past literature that has been written to game us up to the point that we are now. We're in 2023. We're not in the 1980s, 1870s, 1850s, 30s, 40s. You know what I'm saying? We're not in the past. We're living right fucking now. So that work that they've done is a blueprint. But you know what? Blueprints always get revised. Blueprints get updated. Blueprint shit, they might move a wall over 3 inches. You never know what the fuck gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? All we're saying is that what we're doing now and the shit that we see that we have to combat, because we've been so blind to a lot of the things that's been going on, you know what I'm saying, on a political level, on a nonprofit level, you know what I'm saying? All of these secret organizations and companies that got private interests and politicians and nonprofits and motherfuckers palms being greased. Like, if y'all came into my space last night and heard baby sister speaking on the shit that she was talking about with C-Jack and the whole fucking California reparations task force hearing, I'm gonna have to pull the transcript from that page, from that space, because I didn't record it. But just the information that we finding out from motherfuckers that's around us that look like us, say they are of us, and doing shit to try and spite us just because they're trying to lace their own pockets. We're calling all of that shit out. It don't matter who, from big to small. Shit, you didn't see me at Ice Cube a few times, and it ain't in a bad way. It's for me to have an engaging conversation with this brother who's saying that he's out here trying to stunt for our people. So I'm trying to get engaged with all celebrities and grassroots alike. You know what I'm saying? We are the ones that's bridging that gap. We're transitioning into us becoming those leaders that we need to be to represent our people in this
You
fight that we're
see,
going through, right?
you starting to, you gotta land, man. Come on, land.
All right, my bad shit. I'm just saying we have to become that change we want to see. And regardless to what teachings that we may have come through, the student has to surpass the teacher. So when will you allow the student to surpass the teacher? If nothing we're doing is in spite of our people, we are just trying to move the needle forward. So we just looking at everything. Sometimes you got to revise some shit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so what I have to say to that is, yes, we definitely need to revise some shit. Inside the code, inside Nelly Fuller's code, inside the ISIS papers, the upgrade happened in real time. The upgrade happened in real time. So with that being said, the outsiders see one thing and we know another thing. When we sitting here in Twitter spaces, turn down master teachers in the forefront when we should be writing books and doing the upgraded knowledge and doing the fucking work. I'm do the fucking work. Okay, you need to upgrade me. Do all that work because all I know is my grandmama, my 16 grandsisters, and all of that. They didn't have access to the knowledge that I have now. And I'm not going to hold them accountable or against them or anything like that. And we understand that. So we have to understand the optics of shit. So when we have people that don't know better tear down the works because we know they're not tearing down the works. We know it's an upgrade, but to others, it looks like you turn down the works. Do your work by yourself in your closet. Don't go on spaces and sit here and try to say, okay, you moving the needle forward. We understand that. I understand that. I understand that the needle has to be moved forward. But I understand right now that 1/5 of our government, 20% of our government owns slaves in their lineage. They're in their genealogy. The governor of my fucking state
Hey,
owns slaves.
let's get some the sisters. Let's let the sisters chime in. Huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Chanel. How you doing? You were very patient. Go ahead, Chanel.
Oh, no worries. Peace to you guys and wonderful space. And I knew exactly who you were talking about. Dr. Francis Percivalson changed my life, but I came up conscious. I think you made it clear that those areas of people activity was actually brought to by Neely Fuller, and Dr. Wilson took that. So I really wanted to clarify. And Neely Fuller also says too, like if you don't agree with him, don't. Like this is his conclusion. This is what they came to. And I think somebody else was saying, it might have been CR the Great, like you questioning everything, which you should. Because I used to get real upset when people talk about Wilson. I mean, because I've had many conversations with Dr. Wilson and Neely Fuller personally. It's they changed my life. But you should question everything. But in doing so, I would just add, I think it's important to have grace. Like when we're talking down on each other and what other work that we've done, it probably does come off a little, so just expect that kind of pushback. But now I've learned to just let people figure it out on their own. And one of the key things that Nelly Fuller talks about is 10 behavioral stops. And one of them is stop gossiping and stop name calling. So if I don't like something somebody said, and then a white person comes to see, well, Conscious said, fuck all white people. And I'll say, well, he said what he said. Even though I might disagree or agree, I don't comment on what another person said. You say, well, that's a great question. You should ask that person, this is what I'm doing. And that's a part of the code. I may not like a lot of things people say or do, but I'm not going to talk against it because you have to become a scientist, which Dr. Wells and Neely Fuller are, to do your own work and come up with your own conclusion. And I think it's important to question everything and go from there. So I just wanted to say that. But great space. I love Dr. Wilson. Neely Fuller. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You want to go ahead, Immortal? Thank you, Chanel, for go ahead and thank you very much for speaking to space.
Appreciate that, sis. And you talking about moving ahead, talking about refining what we have. Well, you have to do that with facts. You have to do that with the actual truth. And the actual truth is that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing did not uh, teach Pan Africanism. That wasn't what she was about, period. She had ample opportunity to go into great depths about Pan Africanism, and she didn't because she wanted every individual, just like the sister said, change your life. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing teachings will change your life, and it's not going to do that for you if you're combing through it, trying to find some gotcha phrase so you can try to make it like it's Pan-Africanism. Listen, uh, delineating between every race on the planet is not Pan-Africanism. So if you say white and non-white, that's the way they set it up. She's telling you what they're thinking and doing. They set it up. Her and Neely Fuller explained to us that they set it up that way. These are their designations, and that's what they're operating upon. So, you know, if she points that out as a scientific matter of fact, what do I ideologically have to do with anything? If you're gonna build upon these lessons, you have to be honest about it. And the honest facts, truth is that lady would never did any Pan African research that she spoke on at any reasonable length. She went into the psychology of each of these different races and how they interact with she even delineated between the Asians. There's Asians, there's red people, quote unquote. There's all kind of people. She delineated the different races. That's not Pan-Africanism. That's not even the definition of Pan-Africanism. So it's really dishonest. You need to upgrade. You need to refine the code, but dishonesty is not going to help you do that. Saying things about a woman like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, saying anything other than what she gave you, applying anything to her other than what she gave you, is disingenuous. How can you learn? How can you build on it? Who gonna pass you the baton if you don't understand the difference between what Dr. Frances Cress Welsing taught and what is Pan-Africanism? If you don't understand the difference between ideology and what is science, you have to stand on your square. You can't just always just go along with just because everybody wants to agree. Sometimes you're gonna be standing right by yourself being correct. And that's when they pass the baton to that. Stand on your own squares out here for the science, and don't put nothing on our ancestors that they didn't, uh, you know, say that they did. So that's not what you do. Skim through her work, not reading for understanding, not reading for comprehension, but you just want to skim through her work to see if you can find anything that's sound pan. Anything that might be pan. See, she said the red, the yellow. She said the white, the non-white. See, that's pan. No, that's ridiculous. She's a biologist and a scientist using the scientific method. Has nothing to do with Pan-Africanism. This is science now. Now, of course, like I said earlier, the Pans are going to try to co-opt it just like they try to co-opt hip hop. Just like they try to co-opt hip hop.
Facts.
But what are you gonna do? Is that what I'm gonna pass the baton to? You're gonna read a bunch of Pan literature about her and use that as evidence that she had Pan African. You know, man, this shit is crazy, man. Okay, I'm gonna land with this. Refining. There was a real good conversation before where they were saying that, uh, just because a person got melanin in their skin, we are an ethnic group unto ourselves. And now, how can we use the code to benefit us specifically? Benefit us specifically. Well, this is an example of upgrading the code.
to make it fit right for you. So the code say,
Oh, let him go. Let him go. Pause. Pay attention. Pay attention what the fuck he finna tell you.
so the code say, uh, that there are white supremacists based on scientific facts, based on study and observation. That yeah, it's some people out there they consider themselves white supremacists, um, and they have been able to take control of the planet basically in every area of human activity. So, but now he also recognized the fact that every white person isn't a white supremacist. But now, just because you present to me yourself as a white person and you claim that you're not a white supremacist, I don't have the guidebook to say which one of you are a white supremacist and which one of you aren't. So I have to suspect that any of you could be a white supremacist. Whenever you want, hey, white people, whenever you come to me, just know I suspect. I don't know. You might be a good person. I don't know. But I can't take just like Muhammad Ali said, I can't take the chance. It's 1,000 snakes coming at me and there's 10 of them in there that don't want to bite me. But the rest of them, they want to, I don't have time to figure out which one's which, you know? So now break the code down. So that means you suspicious of white people because you know that they white supremacists. Now let's break that down to our lineage. Use the same logic. So now with our lineage, I have to suspect that anybody outside of my ethnic group, and if you come from a background, if you come from a culture, if your ethnic group takes the time to make out slurs about my ethnic group, we don't do that. You take out the time to undermine my ethnic group. You got an anti-Black American culture in your ethnic group. So it might be some let's say some American Igbos around here, and some of them might be cool. But dude, y'all generally don't fuck with us. Y'all generally undermine us at every turn. That's what you generally do. So now I'm gonna have to delineate, and any of you, whether you melanated or not, any of you who come, if you're not a Black American, preferably, well, if you're not a Black American, I have to suspect that you is on some fuck shit. I have to suspect that you may be working you may be working in concert with white supremacists. You may be a white supremacist collaborator because we see too much of this anti-Blackness coming out of some of these ethnic groups, coming out of some of these Caribbean areas. And when these people are saying these things, the population of these different groups in Africa and Caribbean and other places, they're not speaking out against it. So you delineate using the logic and use it at the best for you. But what you don't do is try to turn around and trash something that's been working. You say, well, it ain't been working. And I tell, last I'm going to land with this. Well, let me just land with that. That's what's up, man. Because I ain't finna.
Yeah, go ahead, land with that. CR, you had your hand up for a minute. We see what's wrong. Thank you, everybody. Before CR get to speak, I want to thank everybody in this room. Chanel, Immortal Leon, MF Kush, Namombi, L Boogie, George Swervin, Willa, Outside, The Imitated, Chef C, KY, Taz, all y'all. Brandon, all y'all. Some of y'all Riviera, some of y'all Dark Libra, some of y'all don't know, but we not on that right now. We building. Why? What the fuck, man? Go ahead, CR.
Yeah, man. After hearing you say that, bro, like honestly, I think y'all are saying the same thing, but y'all just have two different views of opinions on the situation of the matter. Because if we're talking about what Brother Last was saying, he was calling out the Pan-Africanization of those two people that we're speaking on, as far as Neely Fuller and Francis Cress Wilson. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to speaking on our ancestors and the work that they have done, he's calling out what the Pan-Africanization of their work that's being pushed. You know what I'm saying? He's not necessarily calling out their work, but I can't speak for that brother. But from what I'm hearing, y'all are basically saying the same thing. But me personally, as a man, I just feel like the meme and shit, That need to stop, bro. Like, if we in this fight together, let's come together. If y'all can't come in a room, it don't matter who the fucking host is. I be having spaces all the time. Y'all don't come in there and address the issue. Hold up, bro. I didn't interrupt you. Please let me have my little spill. I ain't gonna be long. But
No.
when it comes to this work, bro, we all are in this fight, man. And I told Conscious, bro, y'all was some of the first ones to actually get involved with the whole pull-up movement that we had, bro. So to see that shit is falling like how it is, bro, it's kind of disparaging, because we all saying that this is supposed to be family and shit, but hold on.
Oh, it's designed. I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to use you. I had to. This the first time I muted. It's designed. It is designed to demoralize and disperse us. When we don't control the 10 areas of human activity, what we do is designed to disperse us. So I like where you're going with this, CR, because we really are coming at the same thing in a different aspect. Go ahead, I unmuted the room.
Yeah, all I'm trying to say, bro, is that if we all in this fight together, then we should be able to talk past our differences to get that level of understanding that we should have as far as the brotherhood and sisterhood that we are moving forward with as Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Because they love to say that we don't know how to come together and get along. Well, let's not prove them right. Let's actually start engaging with each other when we do have these differences. That shit is gonna make us stronger, bro. When we kind of have these different little clusters of spaces and shit, all it does is keep up the confusion. It keeps up the commotion, and nothing gets resolved because nobody's talking to each other. Like, I'm gonna give you a personal example for myself, bro. I deal with that shit with my own fucking family with certain members. Niggas don't want to talk to me, but they'll talk to each other about me. You did? Good, bad, the ugly, whatever it may have, you know what I'm saying? But, and I know we all deal with that type of shit with our families, bro. And if this is supposed to be that family unit, let's break that chain. Let's break that cycle. That's all I'm saying. If somebody has a difference of opinion, engage with them. Find out what you might be missing
So
from
what
what
you're
they're
talking about
trying
is
to
breaking
say.
generational curses.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's how I came at you, Conscious, on that situation. Like, bro, if we all in this fight together, bro, we don't need to be separating any more than what we already are. You know what I'm saying? We are in a movement that's supposed to be bringing our people together. We are waking up, doing our genealogy, looking at history, tying our bloodline to it, and waking up everything that's owed to us, bro. So if we really in this fight stomping on bloodline business, it shouldn't matter our difference of opinions. Because like I said, Immortal, you're basically saying the same thing that he's saying, but you just got a different view of opinions on it. You know what I'm saying? But y'all both are calling out the Pan-African aspect of it, which is the main thing that he was trying to get at, and the main thing that he wanted that understanding from y'all from. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all gonna keep uplifting our ancestors, if anybody's gonna keep uplifting our ancestors, whether they presented us with information or they actually was out here stomping, we have to make sure that we're all on that same accord and moving forward together. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn how to put our differences aside, because if you said Dr. Francis Cress Wilson was saying how the Asians move together, how the Mexicans move together, how everybody else know how to come together despite their differences, why the fuck we still have that problem? And right now, I'm kind of saying, brothers, what's going on is kind of an example of what she was saying in her research. You know what I'm saying? How we don't know how to come together. Well, let's prove that shit wrong. Let's rewrite that type of history and showing that we know how to come together despite our differences and move forward in this fight for our bloodline. And I land.
Everybody pretty much had the same differences that they got now. About this time last year, me and Conscious were two of the people, not the only ones. There was no one, only one that made it happen. It was many of us. And we were involved in the pull-ups from the beginning. And all these, some of these differences existed. And we were one of the main ones pushing the idea of push past differences. Do the work done. Let's look at what we can agree on. We were the main one doing that. Now, you say the back and forth, the infighting looks bad and it needs to stop. You preaching to the choir. So I don't understand why that doctrine is not proper when things are going against us. that's unseemly. When things are being said against us, that's unseemly. Lies, blatant lies get told about us. Why don't you go to them and tell them, hey, look, it's just a different opinion. Why does it always come to us with the try to like we're not maintaining our morality or our no. I don't want to go Tony Montana and say some shit like who put this thing together. It wasn't just one person; it was a bunch of us. At least about a half dozen to a dozen of us. A lot of people in this room, and it was contributions from even a greater, um, uh, 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 a greater outreach than that. A lot of contributions came. You talk about settling differences. You talk about keeping it, about the work and stuff. Cool, but you know what I see when it comes to us here. I see a lot of. I don't know what's going on psychologically, but I see what they do, and I notice a lot of people is really invested in telling lies about what we do and what we don't do, and I don't see that being addressed at all. I see a lot of people that are complicit with things like threatening other people's families, threatening my
Bang!
family. I see a lot of people that's complicit with that, and they don't mind that. And not only do they, and why I say complicit, because not only do you not mind that happens. See, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at anybody sideways, just like you looking. You say, well, y'all keeping this up, and it's looking bad. And okay, I'm looking at sideways at anybody that wasn't outraged by hearing my family being threatened, not once, not twice, not three times, four times, and I only got the opportunity to keep doing that because I'm in there trying to, bury the hatchet for real. I'm trying to eliminate conflict with somebody I never want to have nothing to do with in the first place.
Hey, Immortal. Hey, Immortal. Because that's a fact. Hold on. Immortal. That's very true. And we're gonna push this room forward. Why? What the fuck? Baron, you got your hand up.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. See, that's the type of shit I'm talking about, man. Don't 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 play me, man. Fuck bearing hand up. Didn't I just say it's a lot of motherfuckers out here that think it's cool to sit for a motherfucker to threaten my family, and now they come around me with morality because I light their ass up on the motherfucker timeline? Fake ass outrage shit. If that ain't got shit to do with the work, threatening my family for nothing, making up lies, bullshitting me, trying to bullshit me. Man, give me the co-host in this motherfucker. Throw me the co-host, man.
Got you.
Throw me the co-host. I'm gonna show you what I think about the bullshit. And make sure I got CR.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got you.
CR still be in here. So let me get that co-host family.
Got you.
Accept. Bye, motherfuckers. Bye. Now, CR still in this motherfucker. Now, fuck that.
I see Burn just dropped off.
It's a whole timeline conversation between me and Burn.
Wow, he's still there. I can see him.
Well, he probably won't be in a minute. And I ain't mad at the Baron, but I'm not going around with bullshit, circular bullshit with Baron, lies. I'm not, hey, it's on the timeline. That's where I'm at with it. I don't even want to talk to Baron about it. Because it's on the timeline. He said what he wanted to say and asked the questions he wanted to ask and got answers. I said what I wanted to say. I asked the questions I wanted to ask, and he dodgy. He was dodgy. He was very dodgy. So stay dodgy, bro, and stay up. I'm rooting for you. I want the best for you, but I'm not playing these goofy games with you. That's what I'm talking about. Don't come to me with all this morality, and you got people saying that we stole what? $280? Plane tickets, hotel rooms, 2 and 3 different cities, $280. What the fuck did we steal? And why would you start a silly ass, goofy ass rumor about your own fucking fellow organizers? But that's cool. But that's cool. That's cool, right? Oh, and what else? Oh, when you get ready to when you get ready to get mad at a nigga for having a difference of opinion, then all of a sudden
You're going into the matrix. You're going into the matrix. Let's see our take it for a minute. Let him respond.
all that is someone my family that's the market. You know, you niggas over 30, because you know, work is the work. You want to fight people do that. You don't have to bring my family to do that. So I don't know anything about the work. It's about destroying the work or something personal you got going on, some psychological problem that you might have or something going on with you. You start threatening my people. I ain't never did shit to you. Never wanted to be around your ass. And you let that fall out your little wolf ticket, seedless ass mouth. And I see people sitting around talking about, oh, well, that's on y'all. Well, that's on y'all. Okay, let it be on us. So when I go in on this ass on the timeline, a lot of people jumping in the middle. You run and hide behind it, shit like that. Niggas thought that was cool, right? But you come to me about some motherfucking memes. Do I look like do we look like Willie Bo? No, we ain't going for the Willie Bobo. Look, brothers, family, we're not going for the Willie Bobo on the fake outrage, on the fake bullshit. Treat us like you want to be treated. We took a lot of disrespect out of a lot of different people. And now you want to, oh, that look bad. Y'all trying to keep on mess. Y'all said, no, we was the one kept down the mess through the whole thing. We was the one trying to make people reach out and squash bullshit and keep the shit moving. We were trying to motivate people to come together and forget all that other shit. That's what we did. So how the fuck we end up all of a sudden being the disruptors when we don't want to talk about like a dog? You say some of the most sickest things about us. And that's cool. Imagine a nigga over 30 calling me old. Nigga, you a brand new old nigga. All you motherfuckers, all you men over 30. You a brand new
Hey,
old.
Immortal, go ahead. Let's see our grab it, man. Come on, man. Come on. Let's see our grab it, man.
You understand this?
Come on, Immortal. I gave the co-host, man. If they didn't get it, they ain't supposed to.
He wanted to. You wanted to see shit squash? Start with that. Talk to him. When somebody swing on me, don't grab me. Grab them. Because I ain't the one that started it. It ain't about the work. Now ask me, it's Ether full of dude. Everything he ever did that he didn't want you to know, I'm telling it. Everything he ever put out in public before to show you who he was, he wanted everybody to know the things that I put out online. I ain't doxing. Public record, articles, videos, prolific. That boy was prolific. He got a lot of stuff I ain't even released yet because I'm merciful. Because I want to hope, man, I don't even want to. Don't be disingenuous. Be sincere. You see the things. How you so mean spirited that you sit around and giggle and goofy about body shaming shit? That's weird to me. Some of y'all niggas is weird as fuck. The shit you tolerate. It was me and conscious and people like us all last year in spaces saying keep it about the ideas. Keep the shit about don't threaten other people for even if they some fuck boys. Don't threaten their family. Don't get with the threats because if you do that, then you got off the work. You're off the work. Well, you didn't listen. You didn't listen. Now you want to get back to the work. No, you don't get to punch me and decide how fucking hard I punch you back. Not only that, it's not just a personal thing. This motherfucker's a whole fuckboy. Hanging out at Trudy House. Not Trudy House. I'll get the names. All I gotta do is just look up these pictures.
Hey, Mortal, I just muted the room, man. Hey, listen. Come on, man.
Show you who these people.
Listen. You that co-host. Mark in here laughing. Nigga, grab a mic. Grab a mic. Grab a mic, nigga. I'll send you a mic after CR speak.
It's coming to me.
Y'all don't know what y'all playing with.
Oh, keep this stuff. Keep it. Why it's always time to keep it smooth after a motherfucker done swung on me? Why you ain't keep it smooth before this motherfucker? Why you let him threaten me not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times since you saying that's your man's? I know why. Not all of them. Not too many people, but it's a lot of people that's complicit. That's why. That's why you're not outraged by it. That's why you over here trying to tell me how to fucking act, but you ain't over there trying to tell him publicly how to fucking act. I ain't threatening his family. He tried to lie. And do you know we was in the room? I'm trying to squash it with this nigga, right? This is about the 3rd or 4th time he threatened me or whatever. And I'm in there trying to squash it with the nigga. The nigga that pissed me off, so we do a little back and forth. And he said, "You just threatened because I'm going in on him about threatening my family because he naming names and all this, like not they names, but they titles. You're this and you're that. Your mother, your grandchildren, all this. Oh, and and I'm like, dude. So I might have said, I don't know what I said to that dude, but then he turned around and said, "Well, you just threatened my children." I said, "Dude, I ain't threatening no children." Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I said, "Dude, you ain't even got no children." He said, "You didn't know that."
Immortal, go ahead, let it go, man. Immortal, come on, man. Come on, man. Respect your brother, man. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go for a quick second. Land. Come on, man. Come on, man.
How to act? When to squash
Man,
it? When
Immortal,
do y'all know who the fuck you're?
brother. Please, I asked you to land plenty of times. Please.
Landed. Because you can't understand that.
They can't. No. We got a hand up, and I want him to speak. Come on. Calm down. Because we some old niggas. I hope. Well, now I'm not an old nigga. See in the jumbotron what Dick Gregory said. With my lineage, with the same surname said, I'm nigga. I go at the CIA. You bitch ass niggas. I go at the CIA while 1/5 of our government is sitting here holding your goddamn reparations, and you want to argue with me about the ideology, you bitch ass niggas. Now, I'm gonna calm it down. So we got a lot of people in this room. CR, you know, listen, and I understand where you're coming from. And I respect you. You see, I ain't muted you or cut you off other than one at a time. What you got to say, brother?
See y'all good, but I don't want to hear no bullshit. Come straight with it, man. Be honest with it. Don't bullshit me, man. Come on with it.
Now, y'all know I'm one of the most straightforwardest niggas on here. I listen to everybody because I listen to what people say. And honestly, Immortal, bruh, like I told Jake when he felt like his family was threatening, if you wasn't gonna go at that person and pull up on him, don't keep that shit going and throwing it on everybody else. That's between. Hold up, no, listen. Stay on your mute, bro.
Hold
Stay on your
on, Mortal.
mute.
Let him
Stay
talk.
on your
Stop
mute,
cutting him
nigga.
off.
Stay on
Let
your
him
mute,
talk.
nigga. We gonna have this
Let him talk.
conversation. Let's have this conversation.
Immortal.
Hold up. Stay on your mute, nigga. I know you feeling it.
Immortal.
I know you feeling it right now, bro. Chill out.
Immortal. I'm asking you nicely. Immortal, man. Come on, man. I'm asking you nicely. You got to talk for like a good mortal. If you don't like what I'm saying, drop out then. Hey, Immortal.
If a nigga threaten my
Hey,
family, I'm
Immortal.
gonna see about that. I don't give a fuck what they talk about on this app, nigga. Don't get mad at me for somebody else threatening your family. If you ain't go get at them, nigga, don't come at me. Don't throw that jacket on everybody else. Go at that person. Like I told Jake, like
And
I
that's
told
what we've
you,
been doing.
if
And that's what we've been doing. We've been going at that person. That's what we've been doing. We've been going at that person, and we've been having fucking niggas running interference. And I'm not talking about you, CR. You ain't run no interference. No, 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 Immortal, calm down. CR, we're not finna get personal here. CR, you honestly didn't run no interference. You didn't. You didn't. Say, hey, boy, hey, Immortal, look. Let this man build. You're not finna sit here and keep cutting this man off. Let this man build. I gave you co-host because I know you have decorum. Let this man build. Let this man build. Let this man build. Let him build. Come on, man. Let him build. Just let him build. We know what you said. You have drove the point home. Let that man build, please.
How to take care of mine?
Oh, Immortal, come on, man. Let him build,
Nah, fuck.
man. You
Yeah,
okay?
y'all
Fuck
go
all
ahead.
that. Can you please mute up while this nigga? Can you please mute up while this nigga builds, please, please.
bruh, only thing I'm
Go ahead.
saying,
We got Burn in here. We got Burn got a burner. Or we gonna bring Burn up. But CR, go ahead and build.
all I'm saying, if I had a problem with somebody that want to threaten me, that I feel like they really trying to act upon, or I need to act upon it, I'm gonna go see about that. I'm not gonna keep throwing that jacket on everybody. I'm not gonna keep going space to space trying to make insurance on the situation. No, I just move differently, bro. That's me, my own personal opinion, speaking from the mouth of CR. Now, as far as the differences we have on this app, bro, like I said earlier, if we really trying to move that needle forward, we should know how to put our differences aside, especially us as men. If we got a problem, we know how to address each other. We can go to the back channel. I let each other in the DM, nigga. What you talking that good shit, nigga? I'm trying to see what's really at. So if y'all trying to be about that shit, go handle that shit. Don't keep pouring that shit on the rest of the family. Because like you saying, if we trying to do this work, why the fuck are we keeping going back and bringing this shit up? If we got a problem with individuals in the movement, address that individual individually. We don't need to keep putting everybody in our
And that's
business.
what we've been doing. And I have been addressing last one. I have been addressing him. Immortal has been addressing him individually. We have
I
not
get
addressed.
that.
Hey, can I chime in? Can I chime in, please?
I,
Can I chime in,
hold,
please?
hold on, bro, because I've been waiting for a cool little minute, man.
Go
I ain't gonna
ahead,
take too
No,
long, bro.
no, let's see our bill. Let's see our bill because we finna be fair. Baron got his hand up. We finna be fair. We finna have a
No, I
family
want to go after
fucking
CR. I
discussion.
want to go after CR.
We
Talk to him.
will. We finna have a family fucking discussion. It's fucking Saturday. Y'all know what time it is. Outlaw Media. It's 3:17 Eastern Standard Time, 2:17 Central Standard Time, 1:17 Mountain Standard Time, 12:17 Pacific Standard Time. Outlaw Media time check. Thank everybody for coming in this space. Tweet it out. We finna have this fucking discussion. And we finna be fair. Now, with that being said, CR, did you land, sir? Because I'm a fair man.
Nah, I'm trying to remember my points because the brother did say a lot, you know what I'm saying? But to try and bring it home, like when he was mentioning the whole Pan Africanization of the works that we have been studying and researching over these past couple decades, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to, like I said earlier, trying to apply it to now, you know what I'm saying? But we, fuck, I didn't forgot my man. Look, I'm gonna just mute up. I didn't forgot my whole fucking point.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, that's all
Oh,
right.
let me come in,
So,
Kachi. Let me come in.
um,
I'll be quick.
go
I'll be
ahead,
quick.
go
I'll
ahead,
be quick.
Leon. Anyway,
I'll be quick.
I'm gonna
I'll
let
be quick.
Burn because that was the
I know,
particular
but I'll
order.
be quick.
Go ahead,
But
Leon.
to the defense of Immortal, and I'm gonna put this on the family. I am. You call me fuck nigga or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But if you know, if your family is doing wrong or saying sideways shit to your other brother, You should have checked him. Don't run no defense or protect him. Because if you run defense and protect him for the fuck shit that he did, then you deserve that jacket. Straight up. Not laying there.
All right, all right. I muted the room. All right, yes, sir. Okay. So, Mr. Barron, you seem to change your profile. It might be a burner profile. Um, how you doing, Mr. Barron? I listened to that song you sent me, Parliament and Boosie Them. My uncle was a drummer, and that's all he knew. So go ahead.
Thanks for letting me speak. So, one thing I would just wanted to say, the reason I came to the mic the first time on my original account, this is a backup account, but my original account had got clipped a while back, and then I made this account. I didn't think I was going to get the other one back. So this is my legit account with my picture, my face. But I came up to apologize to Immortal when we were talking, and you gave me compliments. I treated you unfairly when you gave me those compliments. And I posted an apology on the timeline also. I still believe what I believe, but I did try to use those compliments as an opportunity to try to make things better between you and somebody that you just ain't gonna get along with. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel like I was being like fucked up about it, but I didn't accept your compliments like a reasonable person. And I did try to use them against you. Not to a bad way. I thought I was doing something good, but I shouldn't have tried to use those compliments like that and abuse, the respect that you was offering me. So I'm gonna apologize to you for that. And that's all I really came up to say.
And Morty to the co-host, you got it. Yo, so I appreciate what you said and your sentiments. Immortal, can you come up on? You got co-host. He then dropped off. I appreciate the sentence. So, why? What the fuck? This room is a spontaneous room. I'm a spontaneous person. Why? What the fuck? Outlaw Media. Check the timeline. This discussion needs to be said. Some things aren't nice. Some things aren't cool. When you have a difference of opinion with people, it's not always the best thing. But at the end of the day, we trying to get the same fucking thing. I think that's what CR said. At the end of the day, we really trying to get the same thing. It's all these people in this room that's trying to get the same fucking thing. And we have been so blinded that and we're so paranoid and we suffer from post-traumatic slave descendant disorder that we think everybody, even people that look like us, even the people that stand on the same ground as us, is against us. And that is not the case. It's really not. Bass raves. So yeah, this is a scary room. It ain't been too many people that had enough fortitude to come up here and speak in this room because it's recorded and y'all know who the fuck I am. Y'all know I'm Outlaw Media. Y'all know I stomp and make statements in my real world life. Y'all know that. So why what the fuck? I'm just trying to tell motherfuckers back down. If you want to have a conversation in the back channel with me, then we can have that conversation. And maybe I need to school you a little bit about tearing down works that work for the enemy. That's cool. That's cool. But we gotta have some real conversations because niggas out here doing real fucking shit. Not fucking playing with you at all. All of y'all see my fucking face. All y'all see my fucking homework. How many of y'all are mad about the 20% of our government that have owned slaves and you know your lineage? How many? See, I'm gonna take it back farther than that. You know your lineage, and you know that a person may have owned someone that oppresses you, that's walking around right the fuck now, and he operated inside the 10 aspects of what you want to call, if you don't use white supremacy, then dominant society. They operate in those aspects. Now I'm getting too hot. Make me some French fries. It's 3:24 Eastern Standard Time, 2:24 Central Standard Time, 1:24 Mountain Standard Time, 12:24 Pacific Standard Time. George Swervin, Aquabino.com. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I only came up because my name was brought up in another space, and really is unbecoming with what we right now is unbecoming of a man to go in another Twitter space and basically get his grievances off when you had the chance to speak. So Leon, I don't respect that. I sent you a mic when we was in that room. I was making sure folks wasn't
Honestly,
doing
man,
all
I don't
that shit. I
respect you because you don't
wait,
even
well, no,
talk to me
no,
like
no.
that.
I
And
ain't
then you,
what no, no.
Hold on, don't break in on George. That George ain't spoke. Don't break in on George, Leon. Let George get it off. Iceman swerve. Let Iceman swerve through these lanes.
Right, because the problem is Leon, not the nigga who threatened my family. The problem is Leon. Go ahead, fam. Not the nigga who
No,
threatened
no,
my
I'm
family.
talking about a nigga that's
We ain't
talking
holding
about
him
me.
accountable
I'm talking
today.
about a nigga that's
I
talking about
see.
me.
We hold.
Immortal, you talk for an hour.
Immortal, hey. Get back to where you was going, George swerving. Immortal, please don't break on your fellow cigarette run guy. Please don't break in on that, brother.
I'm talking about a nigga that brought my name up. So I have the right to speak on that. Do I? Do I? Or do I not? Just let me know.
Do you see how I feel when a nigga speak on your
But
name
I don't
and
stop
then other
motherfuckers
niggas
from.
run
I don't
interference? You don't
stop
like this interference,
nobody
do you?
from getting their issue
Now you
off.
understand how I feel.
No, hey,
Go ahead, fam.
immortal. You don't hear me stopping people from getting their issue off. I'm from a family of fighters, nigga.
I ain't saying you,
So
but I'm
so
showing you
so
where I'm
so
at with
let
it.
me address my issue. Thank you, thank you. We in all these spaces, right? And there's never been a time where folks are ducking any conversation or making it seem. I'm very fair. I'm very fair. So Leon, all I did was tell you to come in on your real page to have a conversation. So for you to be coming and trying to say you disappointed in me for doing what are you talking about? What do you like for real? Like you should just leave
Yeah,
my name out of what you got going on or whatever
being
angle you trying to pursue on the timeline. Just leave me out of it. Don't be saying my name, bro. Cause I don't go around talking
I
about
didn't put your
Leon.
name in no timeline.
I
I didn't put your name in timeline.
Leon, Leon. This is what I'm telling you. You were in Dion's space earlier today, and you brought
Yes, I was.
my
That's
and
a
you
space.
brought
That's not a
my name
timeline.
up
That's different.
as if I have anything to do with your difference in ideology
I had
or
to meet
differences or debates. Y'all know
Leon.
y'all
Now,
my fault. I don't know, but like I said, y'all in the arena of thought. So you're not finna try to drag me and shit and say you disappointed in me and going all these other places and saying my name and shit. I, I'm right here, so you can. But don't be in these spaces trying to bring my name up and all this little fuck shit. Straight up. I've been watching. I've been watching this because I a lot of things. There's been a lot of stringent points made. So don't drag me into some shit where you trolling people and you calling people shit and you disrespecting folks. Because I haven't disrespected nobody during this whole. I haven't. So let me stay over here in my lane of not disrespecting folks. Because if I gotta swerve in that lane or running you down, bro, I'm trying to change. So just leave my name out of it, man. For real. If you want to have a conversation with me, you can easily DM me, whatever. Or we right here. But don't leave this space
You could have
and
did
be
the same
saying
thing
my
too, man.
name.
It ain't just one
Don't don't
side. Don't make it one
don't
sided. Don't
don't
make it one
leave.
sided, man. Don't
Don't
make it one sided. It's
what
not one sided.
so I'm asking you what's the issue?
I had to
So
mute it.
get your issue off. Have the you can we can have the conversation now.
I had to mute it. I had to mute the room. Okay, so obviously there's a situation with George and Leon, a personal situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to push the conversation forward. Why? What the fuck? I want to push the conversation forward. So we already have established the fact that Leon and brother George need to have a conversation on the back end. So with that being said, I want to stick on to the point that we are progressing forward.
No, I haven't had a conversation with him on the back. He could have easily hit me up in the back end. But when you go in these spaces and bring my name in your conversation, like just stop that. For real. I'm not on the timeline trolling. I'm not in spaces trolling. I said what I said. I haven't disrespected none of you niggas. So leave that shit there. And I
And
and
you
I
know
and
what?
I'm gonna land. I'm gonna land. I'm with my family, man. I'm on the way to a goddamn fair or some shit. I don't got time to be with niggas. Stop, man. Real shit. Niggas is too old. Niggas it got too much shit to do, bro. So
Hey, hey, so with that being said, you never disrespected me, Vino. Um, I don't feel like no bad energy or nothing like that. Um, and I feel like it's the disrespect that you feel that you're coming to brother Leon with. Um, it can be fair, but we want to go back to the real disrespect. We didn't want to go back to the real because brother Leon never threatened your family. He never said that you would disappear. So we can handle that. We can come to an amicable decision. But what I'm trying to say here is why what the fuck, man? What the fuck, man? So, George, go ahead and land, man. I'm sorry for muting you. I had to do I've been refereeing these rooms. Go ahead, George. And Leon,
it ain't even like no real beef. It's just like don't stop doing the little space to space shit. I don't do that, bro. For real. So leave me out of anything you got with anybody else. For real. And that's all I'm saying.
And that's a good point. And that's a good point. And everybody stay the hell out of what I got with somebody else. When they threaten my family, if you're not talking to them about why that's wrong and why that situation needs to be fixed because you out here and you done tripled and quadrupled down on it. If you're not talking to him about that, don't talk to me about nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. You can't tell me how to react to it. Well, if you really felt like that, you'll go down that. No, if I feel like this, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do. Do you see that? Nobody gets to dictate what I do once motherfuckers done made it plain that they want to do something to my family. You don't get to dictate. Your logic, your thoughts are not my thoughts. All right. You don't get
Is
to,
Immortal still talking?
I get what.
can y'all hear me? So, can y'all hear me? It's getting hot and
I
heavy.
can hear you.
This the
As
real
far as
nigga space
disrespect,
right here. Fuck Rondo, all them. This the real nigga space right here. Why?
kick
What the
them niggas
fuck?
out, man.
Outlaw media. We
Kick
really
them
talking
niggas
about
out.
some real shit in here. I don't block people. Everybody can come in here that they want to. It's recorded and it will go on my YouTube and it will go on my .com.
Okay, do you know what kind of
Y'all
sick?
niggas don't know about owning shit or wealth or power.
Do you know
So
what kind of
real quick,
sick?
real quick, real quick. Let me ask y'all a question because this my this my only clarifying question. Um, can y'all, because I didn't view that as disrespect or tearing down the elders. I view it as going going through and taking what you can apply. So can y'all direct me to where the disrespect was? And
Yeah,
and that's all and
Applying,
that's all I'm
uh,
asking.
yeah,
applying something to her that wasn't her. She was not Pan. Period. Nothing in the crest theory is Pan. Period. Don't try to make it what it's not. That's disrespectful. Take her at her own words. She was never known to be a liar. She was always known to speak exactly what it is. So if she didn't come out and teach Pan to you, that was on purpose. Nothing about her teachings is Pan. Now, if Pans use it and try to co-opt it, that's something else. Me and CR came to understand about that. That's something else. You can't take the co-option and use it as evidence that she was Pan. Come on.
I'm
That's
gonna
the
use I'm
disrespect.
gonna use
That's the
my
disrespect.
same analogy, I think. And I
Don't
and
lie on her. That's
I
disrespectful. I ain't saying you did it, but
oh,
whoever,
okay. I
you
hear
know,
I hear what you're saying.
don't
Now,
lie
is
on
that
her.
the so that is the crux of it where um where you thinking that instead of saying that there's some pan-African elements, you view
There's
him
no
as saying
Pan
that
African elements at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Pan African. I was in a room the other day. I wasn't finna sit and listen to niggas babble for 30 minutes in order to explain to them the difference between Pan Africanism and the Cress Welsing's law now, because you can't disprove it. They call it is Crest Western theory until until it's proven. And I think we've had decade upon decade upon decade, and nothing has come forward to disprove it. And everything that we see around us corroborates it. So I'm going to call it the Crest law. You know, it's science. It's not pan. There's no elements of Pan Africanism. It's straight up and down biology and science. Why? That's simple.
I'm gonna use my same analogy, and this is how I'm looking at it. Now, this is how I'm viewing the entire situation. If I'm off base, then I'm off base. But I'm gonna put it on the floor. Um, you got you got George Gervin, you got Michael, you got George Gervin, you got Dr. J, you got Michael Jordan, Grant Hill, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, right? Just because there's different rules and the game might not look the same as it did does not mean that somebody that has come after George Gervin isn't building on what they do just because they might say, hey, well, George Gervin was here when folks were scoring 150 points a game. And now when Kobe came in, niggas scoring 85 points a game. Maybe I'm off base. But that's how I'm looking at it. Y'all, you give me feedback.
you
Bro,
want to,
I
but
don't know about I don't know much about sports analogies. I'll tell you that. But let me put it to you.
you don't know much about sports analogies. I hate to mute you, Immortal. I had to mute you because you don't know much about sports analogies. So I don't want you to speak on things that you don't know. So my brother George Iceman Swervin talked about an analogy of basketball. It's interesting. Why? What the fuck? So in basketball, Dr. J, he they wouldn't let Bill Russell dunk. They created laws against Bill Russell dunking because he was the biggest motherfucker on the court. But guess what? When Dr. J came through, he started dunking. And then when Michael Jordan came through, he started dunking so amazingly you had to give him an award and call that nigga Air. So we understand that. We understand that.
I think let me bring it around, right? Um, what we looking at is like the game don't look the same. Don't nothing really look the same. They're changing a lot of things. And when I hear last one, I hear him pause, eating the meat, spitting out the bones. Now, that might be that might be the generational divide, but that's how I view it. And I didn't view it as anything other than difference in worldview. Now, now y'all on some other shit. And now that it went there, I can't really speak on that.
No,
But what
no, we ain't the ones that started on the other shit. We're not gonna
no,
play
I ain't talking
blind
about.
eye to what everybody
I'm
else
not
do.
talking about that
But now we on
situation.
some other shit.
No,
Yeah,
no, I'm
everybody
not
been on
talking.
some other
Wait,
shit.
wait, wait, wait.
People been
You
on
got to
some
hear.
other
You
shit.
got to hear what I'm saying. I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about solely this one, not anything else. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gambler, bro. So I've learned how to let that gambler's fallacy go. I'm talking about this one instance, this one dice roll. This is what I'm talking about. So I mean, what I'm saying is things aren't the same. And when I hear that brother go through it, because he's actually hit me up on the back, and and it's a eat the meat, spit out the bones type angle from him. Whether that is how I view it. Whether how harsh it might sound, I've not now me saying now I rock with Fred Hampton Jr. But if I call him a pan, he don't associate himself as a pan. He don't call himself Pan African at all. But to me, and relatively, not we're talking about relative, because everything is relative. There are hardly any absolutes in the world we live in. So a lot of the stuff that we're seeing and a lot of things that we're witnessing in relativity to something else. So in relativity to our position today, Fred Hampton and other people could be called that. They might not call themselves that, but I don't think that's disrespect. I don't think that is um I don't think that's throwing them away.
So
I wait, and I'm gonna land with this. I'm gonna land with this. I believe that right now everything is being looked at uh with a microscope under a critical lens because of the delineation and because we've realized um how our advocacy and us standing on business has been manipulated against us. And that's all I'm saying. And that and if that's not what it is from y'all, then okay. But that's how I see it. So I'll land with that.
thank you for landing on that. We got to go to the hands that push this room forward. This is recorded. Um, this will be going on consciousoutlaw.media.com and the Conscious Outlaw YouTube. This is recorded. If you have a problem with your voice or your words being recorded, please let me know now. But Chanel, go ahead and speak.
Thank you very much. Peace to the room again. I have a question for George. Peace to you. Um, what exactly, what critique do you have for Dr. Wilson, if any? Because I don't know what space. I have no idea what you guys are talking. Maybe I shouldn't even ask. Now, if that's the case, I'll simply bow out because I have no idea. But my question would be to you, George. I have three questions, but what in particularly that you dislike about Dr. Wilson in particular?
That's really not a question for George. That's really not a question for George. That's not
Okay.
George. That's
Okay,
not your.
I was
thank
on a
you.
call, but she could ask me. She could re-ask me. I'm back. Ask me a question.
Oh, well, I I don't know what you guys are talking about, but when we're talking about Dr. Wilson, this is when my ears perked up. But my question was, what exactly don't you, or I don't say you, I guess at this point because I'm not sure, but the question was you don't like about Dr. Wilson? Like, what exactly is it? Or critiquing? You know, maybe they don't like, but critique or had questions or dislike. You know.
It ain't no really dislike. I don't have a dislike for the elder sister. What I'm saying, all I'm saying is when somebody is wanting to go through something that has been, we've been in these spaces, right? And when you get people that are like, and I'm just gonna say this, when you get people like that use work to shield themselves or use that, then it's evident that it has to be separated. And when I see last one uh going down not Neely Fuller and Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, I see him as separating um her work from the people that use it to hide behind, people that have been historically off code, like Tariq Nasheed. So
Well, let me ask you this, man. Let me break that question down. Let me see, because I see
yeah,
where
because
she's
I
going
don't
with
have
it.
a dislike. You're not seeing
Let
like
me
what we,
not dislike, but you have said that her work has, let's for example, Pan African elements. I think was the phrasing. So what part of her work do you see those type of elements? You know.
I see those type of elements when we speak about everybody being black, right? And I get it, the color, I get it, the race, right? I get that. But what the dichotomy and the disconnect is that Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Neely Fuller Jr. took time and presented a theory of white supremacy, the theory of color confrontation, which broke down white supremacy racism. We're in a time right now when we're questioning race as a whole. So if you're questioning race and wanting to break that down, then other things will be called into question with it. And I just, that's really, I think that's the main disconnect.
Well, the whole concept of race is questionable from the beginning, from the time of its inception. That whole concept has been questionable the whole time. Now, what we have to do is, and what her work does, is allows you to deal with the situations on the ground as they are. And these are the designations that the people who control all the systems and everything, this is what they have come up with. This is what how can you defeat your enemy if you do not know them? If you do not understand if you don't understand how they're operating, what they're doing, how it works, then everything gets confusing. So she laid the blueprint out for you to show you this is how they've structured things. Now, she was also a biologist. And so she was speaking strictly on the reasoning behind their thought, speech, and actions and how they've arranged the world. You know, that's strictly a scientific method used to bring about what she observed. It has, it doesn't have anything to do with um, Pan Africanism because Pan African is all about Africans and people of quote unquote African descent, right? Well, she's designating and delineating who are the Asians and how do they interact with these white supremacists, these people who control all the systems. How do they interact? Now let's go to the next one. How do they interact? How do you interact? What's the way when and she went into all of that. And I don't think people are really going into her work. Just because you designate, use sociology and biology to designate people that is not pan. I didn't know Asians was included in Pan-Africanism. And it is true. You can't ignore scientific facts that the white people on this planet are a very small portion of the planet's population, and everybody else has some degree of melanin. That's just biology. This is not Pan-Africanism. And they're behaving in the way that they do so to maintain themselves, so that they want to stay white, you know. So they manipulate the situation, and yeah, so race is a whole thing is questionable, but she's presenting to you how the world is structured and what you can do to produce justice, what you can do to make sure that nobody's to guarantee that no one gets mistreated, and to guarantee that those who need help the most get the most constructive help. That's justice. So it doesn't have anything to do with pain. It has to do with breaking down, looking around at your surroundings, seeing how things are moving. And she even used to tell us that, yeah, the white folks got a saying: if you're yellow, then you're mellow. And,
Real
if
quick, real
you,
quick. This is my last thing because I'm gonna go. I'm with my
well, this is the
peoples.
part where she delineated, but you want to cut that
Oh
part off.
no, I didn't because
Yeah,
I'm with my.
she was
Go ahead.
delineating. She said yellow is a friend to the white folks. They got a saying how they going to deal with everybody based on they content of melanin. And I want y'all to also remember, I'm laying real quick, let you go. Remember, this is something that she made for us. Just because the world jumped upon it, just like we built automobiles. Black Americans invented automobiles. Now everybody want to use one. Everybody want to claim they done redid and you know.
We
She
and
made that for us though.
we and we and we built hip hop. And we built hip hop. Don't let they. I gotta reach down to them on the sky, people. And we built hip hop.
Look, I was gonna land, but let me go here with this. It's real sad to see Negroes that's 35 calling a 50-year-old old. I am not a baby boomer. I come from the generation that made hip hop. I come from the generation that freed Assata Shakur. I come from the generation that marched. I don't care if you said it was a big fat dud. I don't care if you said it did nothing. I come from a generation that assembled 1 million men on the United States. I don't care if you say it didn't do nothing. It wasn't nothing. I don't care how you try to bring it down. We did that. You don't see since then. You've never seen 1 million men come together for any purpose on the planet, whatever it be. That's my generation. That's what we did. We Gen X. We not baby boomers. So it's real funny to me to see a nigga that you 10, 15 years old, like, dude, it take 20 years to make a whole generation. You got niggas that conscious is like 10 years older than some of these cats running around talking about, you old nigga. I'm not Jim Clyburn, nigga. That's not, he old enough to be my granddaddy. You heard me? I'm not that. So it's real weird, this generational thing you niggas got. Not you, George, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though. This weird, you old nigga. Y'all funny to me sometimes. That's what we've been on, you know.
Go,
That's what we've been on.
go
Go
ahead
ahead.
and speak. Brother Vino had to drop down. Brother George had to drop down. Support his website. Go to aquavino.com. Do that for me.
Oh, I'm not sure if it's on me. I'm sorry. I kind of missed that part. Dang, I wanted to ask George another question. Darn it. Okay. Well, I was just going to say you can't put Dr. Wilson in the same mind frame of delineation or Neely Fuller. You just can't. Those are two totally separate thoughts and patterns and reasons. Dr. Wilson came at this purposely to teach specifically, and I'm going to say this, Black men about your genetic material. See, we like the conversation. I could tell that they haven't studied Dr. Wilson because, first of all, Dr. Wilson, her color theory, one of her very clear examples, ball games. She talks about ball games throughout her whole book. And she says there's 2 series of ball games. You have big brown, small white, basketball, football. All the most dominant games has a big brown ball, meaning black man testicles, your genetic material. Because if all black men was to start having sex with all the white people and non-colored people, white won't exist.
Exactly.
They're trying to put delineation. This is no. That's you cannot put Dr. Wilson and Nitty Fuller in those conversations, and that's you have to study. If anybody went to, I'm not even say college, but have a trade, you have to study and you have to continue to study and study. See, I think it was either Dr. Ben or Dr. John, and this is when I realized for myself, guys. I'm an armchair scholar, meaning I'm just reading books. Okay, I'm applying some applications, but a field scholar out there and go to work. So if you question race, if you think that all of this stuff is not right, and I'm going to agree, but you have to actually go out and do the work. You have to have some scientific proof, documented evidence. I don't care how it works. So now maybe it's time to get off Twitter and start really doing some real field work. I mean, an archaeologist would be the person who studied remains, what makes race, because Dr. Wilson, that's how I know you don't study Dr. Wilson, she talked about the albino gene, who eventually got pushed out of Africa, or people say they don't believe in the out of Africa theory. Fine, no problem. No matter where you at, pigmentation is natural. Anything else is abnormal, meaning white people who have white skin are mutations of a mutation. You have to have a cell that produces pigmentation, and that like the flowers, everything that's natural has color, and it changes. Okay, so this is how I know. But so all the delineation talk, I'm down for that. Yes, absolutely, I have totally delineated. But you can't put Dr. Wilson in those type of conversations and try to. It just doesn't work because she's coming at this from a whole nother different perspective and teaching. I say again, black men about your genetic material, because we are the mothers and fathers of this planet. I know you don't like Africans or Caribbean. That's fine. Justice meaning we need the help most right now, right? Nene Fuller said, "What's your definition of justice?" Meaning, whoever needs the help the most get the most constructive help. Guaranteeing, right? So right now we need the most constructive help because they were Africa, they starving, but they're gonna have to, it is a fight under the system of white supremacy racism. We're fighting for our lives. And we have to figure out how we're going to go about it. And I'm assuming delineation in America is most important because if the Africans stay where they at, man, it's like billions of them motherfuckers. They can just take over. But hey, I don't know. So I'm just saying. And also, please don't put Dr. Wilson Nene Fuller in these. I mean, just no, you can't do it. It's just not going to work. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Um, that's pretty much where I'm at. Um, it don't look good. If we have these conversations, if we want to fix our ideology, Dr. Phil Valentine said something very interesting to me. He said, "You don't tell anybody what you're thinking about because it becomes theirs. So if it's your idea to upgrade the code of Neely Fuller and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, then do that. But don't go around and tearing down information that my grandchildren and my children might need to know about the 10, not 9, 10 areas of human activity." And because it's recorded, I'm going to read it for y'all. If you can't tell me nothing about economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, or health, don't come trying to debunk somebody that spent their life That's an ancestor right now trying to give you tools to succeed. Mm. Yeah, pretty quiet
If
now,
I
huh?
could, if I could say this, conscious, I
Yeah, please.
don't even know what the problem was. Can you hear me, conscious?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know if it's me. I may be going in and out. It may be me. Just kind of let me know that you're going in and out on my end. Um, it's the term that I think Immortal was talking about. If you black, get back. If you brown, stick around. If you yellow, you mellow. And if you white, you all right, right. And we can see that in this system, how Asians will be considered yellow, right? Like this, the color, the crest theory. I mean, so if we're talking about Dr. Wilson, this is what she's talking about. So we can apply what she's saying to today. Who's getting everything more than we do? The brown and the yellows. It's color. Am I right, or am I going somewhere differently?
No, you're 100% right, and
In
I have another.
today's what's happening today? Yes. Is it me? But I don't hear you, conscious. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You probably can't hear me. You might have to drop down, but that's what
Okay.
I'm. So Chanel is connecting on my phone right now. So um, it's understandable to critique, but motherfuckers need to get on code. Don't critique my master teacher on no goddamn Twitter space for clout. Don't do that. Don't give these white supremacists motherfucking information on how to defeat us. Shut the fuck up. Write a book. Upgrade the code. Don't sit here and tell me what the fuck I should be saying. Leon, you good?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Go ahead. So what you we got a nice room going on. Thank everybody that's came into the space. This is recorded. Anything that you say will be recorded. It's on Twitter. It will be on consciousoutlaw.media.com. It also will be on my YouTube. We ain't in here for the scary niggas. We ain't in for niggas that want to talk nice. None of that. None of that. So if you got a problem with anything I said, because I'm standing with the ancestors, and what they told me is how to delineate. And if people don't understand how to delineate, that's your fucking problem.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear me. The sister broke it down, broke it down, broke it down, broke it down. Flowers to her. Chanel, I'm sorry, I'm gonna chop your name up, sister, but you broke it down vividly and accurately of everything you said about the great master teacher, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Um, this really started. I'm not even gonna go into it no more. We'll just leave off with the master teachers, because I don't even want to talk about it right now. I started with a post. I posted not doctor, Mr. Neely Fuller, and it was about white supremacy, and it was saying about the about white supremacy. If you know white supremacy of how it is or what it does, and then it says if you don't understand how it works or what it is or how it works, then he said everything you understand, everything you the person, anything else in this world that you think you understand is only going to confuse you. Meaning, there's some things, and I'm guilty of this. There's some things I know, and he's trying to say that shit confuses you. So to the people out here, it ain't even about be smart. It's just I'm even just going into I'm just going to say about ideologies. Everybody on Twitter got a different ideology. Even your ideology could no matter how much you could understand your ideology, is only confusing you if you don't know about white supremacy. So if you're here on Twitter space and you're denouncing white supremacy as it doesn't exist, so whatever the ideology you think you understand is what's confusing you. And I'll land there.
Oh, okay. So what I seem to understand what you said, Brother Leon, is we not finna get caught up in these words. We not finna let people sit here and tell us what our definitions and what our master teacher said. We're not finna let. Okay, so I got a good analogy. Y'all ready for this? Conscious Outlaw Media. It is 4:05 Eastern Standard Time, 3:05 Central Standard Time, 2:05 Mountain Standard Time, 1:05 Pacific Standard Time. Outlaw Media time check. Check my.com. Cause I'll stop. I'm out here not talking about shit I don't fucking know. And when we sitting here talking about ideologies and understanding, we need to understand that we do what's best for us. Period. If you don't do what's best for you, then you have the problem. And if you don't know other people that are doing the best for you, you have the problem. Why? What the fuck, man? Man, Bass Reeves in here. I keep law and justice in these wicked Twitter streets. When people are not read, when people don't know what they're saying, when people do what they call nigger babbling, I don't understand it. I don't understand shit. I only understand and overstand.
The real Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves.
So, this base recorded. It's recorded. Thank you all for being here. I had this space going on for quite a while. It takes a long time to upload these shits, but I want everybody to know just because you upgrade don't mean you disrespect in the process. You don't disrespect in the process of an upgrade. And I will debate you, anyone that sit here and say that Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, rest in power, or Nellie Fuller was a Pan African. Fuck y'all niggas trying to make Pan Africanism like a cuss word. Because I deal with energy. I don't deal with the dumb shit and the word salad and the nigga babble. You're not finna tell me somebody that taught me that my father taped shows to watch. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was a Pan African and that she was counter to any fucking thing that will make me better. Fuck you and the horse you came on. I didn't mean to. You don't go around on Twitter trashing master teachers and sit here and try to act like you're working for me because you're not. Chanel, go ahead. You got the mic.
I hope you can hear me now. I just want to say too, Neely Fuller's. This is how I know people don't study because they have to. You have to read it and study it. Okay. Neely Fuller says words are important. I have the word book. And he does not have Pan African in here. Maybe I don't have the updated one, guys. If you guys have the updated one, I know he did do an updated one. Please see if Pan African is in the word guide. But he does not like affirmative action. Don't use this word. Like he said, words are so important. And you ask people specifically, what's a Pan African? What it is and how it works. And words are, this is how the system of white supremacy, they use it through words. Because if you ever was to talk to any white person, don't speechify to them. Don't tell them that we didn't been hard and we need this. No, just ask them simple questions. This is where you're going to find out. And this is how they, for me personally, how I learned from them. You ask questions because all problems are solved by questions and answers. If you have people who don't want to solve a problem, then that means they're being non-constructive. Period. And white people in particular, they will do things, they will laugh, they will say buckets and buckets of words. Like, don't even get to the point. I mean, I asked you a simple question in a 30 minutes in and you still confused. This is how they practice white supremacy racism. So these are the things that you learn from Dr. Wilson and Neely Fuller. So if it is Pan-Africanism, let's just say they are Pan-African. What's your definition of that? Is there anything constructive you can take? If not, that's cool. But like, why do we spend so much time on and I can say this now, like, damn, we spending so much time on breaking our elders down, but you guys, not nobody, and I'm just saying anybody talking about them particular, you're not really doing the real work. I know you're not, because I can tell by the conversation. You don't even know. You just out here just, I don't know. But we need to start.
Chanel, they just be out here talking. Because I asked the nigga if you have something better than what Dr. Francis Cress Wilson or Nellie Fuller did, then stop talking and make me a fucking book. Make me an upgrade.
And guess what? If people don't know, before Dr. Wilson passed away, and I think she had this, she put it in the paper, because in the system of white supremacy, everything is entertainment, and print is a part of entertainment. So if you need to make anything legit, you make a public notice, and usually you put it in publication, which would be the paper. And she put $1,000 reward, guys, before Dr. Francis Wilson passed. She said, "I'll give you $1,000 if you can give me a better functional definition of white supremacy racism." And she used white supremacy, they both do white supremacy racism as the same. So you can't be a black person practice. If somebody call you a racist, they don't know, that's incorrect. No non-white person can practice racism, white supremacy. Her offer was, I give you $1,000 if anybody can present a better functional definition than what she provided.
Hey, I'm on that. Okay, I didn't know that she actually put a bounty on these niggas' heads. I'm on it too. I give you $1,000. Say that again, Chanel. I cash app it.
And I'm going to try to find the clip that she actually said it. I will try to make that. She have so many, I mean, she spoke so much. So I will definitely, guys, try to find that clip. She said she put $1,000 out. If anybody can provide a better functional definition of how the system of white supremacy works, she'll give you $1,000. Because she has a full functional, she's the only general. First of all, Dr. Wilson is a third general and child psychiatrist, MD. Okay, she's third generation. Her father and her grandfather were all physicians, psychiatrists, not PhDs. We talk about
No,
medical doctors.
clinical psychiatrist. Yeah, MD, like you just
Yeah,
said.
let's be very clear with this. You even have Tim Wise that called Dr. Wilson. He said her shit was pseudoscientific bullshit. Tim Wise, who only have a BA, he ain't shit. He said that Dr. Wilson was pseudoscientific bullshit. Okay?
Who said that? Who?
Tim Wise, the white man who go around and preaching to other white black people about racism. Yeah, him. Mhm. I could definitely provide you with that information very quickly. Leon, no, he was on the cows, right? We got to be very
Yup,
clear.
yup, yup, yup.
Listen, you talked about Dr. If anybody, I don't care who it is, my mama, my dad, talk about Dr. Wilson. No. Have you done the work? Amy Fuller wrote that book, guys, in the 1940s. He started writing that book in 1940s when he was in the Korean War. Neely Fuller and my dad was born the same year. How about that? My dad was born in 1928, and Neely Fuller is still alive. Oh, he also just did a recent interview on Rock Newman. I'm gonna save it for my tomorrow workout. He
Yeah,
did.
I got.
Okay,
I got that.
yeah, I haven't
I got.
listened to it yet, but I'm gonna save it for my workout tomorrow. Yep. Okay. Neely Fuller, 90 to my mom, 94, somewhere in 93, 94. There we go. We need to be very clear here. You have a person who spent years and years and years on research. But then when you fresh out the gate, but that's what it is, like a baby. Dr. Wilson say this too, like a 2-year-old child always asks, why? People should ask those questions. And maybe you could come up with a better conclusion because that's what the new generation is supposed to do, right? But you can't knock down, I think, Conscious, you said this, other people has actually done the work. Like that's kind of counterproductive, but hey, maybe that's the new process. I don't know. But that's like me saying, forget everything my parents taught me. I'm going to go start from scratch. I could take some of the stuff. Well, I mean, everything they gave me helped me where I'm at. But hey, I don't know. So, but everybody is different. Study it. Just
Yeah,
study.
everybody different. Then you get a situation where people cut their brains off, and I'm gonna call that nigga out. Last brain cell left. You nigga, you blocked me, you bitch, because I'm standing on the shoulders of my ancestors. You, I'm trying not to use cuss word.
Negro,
You blocked
you
me.
mean Negro Damas?
Thomas. He blocked me because he is the one that's standing against Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Neely Fuller. He's the one. I'm putting it on you. You want to ride with this shit? You want to be the motherfucker die on the cross? Well, I'm finna crucify you, nigga, because you're not finna sit here and disrespect my ancestors. You're not gonna disrespect what I learned on. You're not gonna do that. Now, if you want to update it, that's fine. Update it in the back channel. Get off fucking Twitter so all the white supremacists can see us turn each other down. I'm tired of this shit.
It makes me wonder if he's doing it for clout. Somebody mentioned that about a lot of people on Twitter wants to um, soy dissension in for clout. I wonder if that's true. I never really look at it that way because I got other shit better to do in my life. If anybody have an answer, please let me know.
I don't know, man, but the man say, I heard the man say, he don't see no white supremacy. He don't find where you see that's a slogan. White supremacists, the system of white supremacy, just slogans. That's what he say. So if you don't understand the system of white supremacy, which is racism, it's synonymous. If you don't understand the system of racism, then everything else you understand is only going to confuse you. So he's become confused on some things. You know, if with everything sitting in your face, you can sit back and say, well, it ain't no system of white supremacy. Then it's a few things that could be off there. But, you know, that's where he at with it from what I've heard him say. Now, he ain't gonna come in here. You ain't got him blocked, do you? Huh? Well, as far as I know.
No, no, the fuck nigga this
But
morning.
wait a minute. All the name calling. Let's leave it alone for a second, because I know he calls you old and
tries to body shame you. And I know that these certain individuals, including him, be really on some weird shit with the disrespect. But let's just look at it for what it is. He don't know shit. It ain't no such thing as white supremacy. What he say? Uh, and all this about Wilson and all this about Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, all this about they got Pan-African elements and all this ideology in it. And it's just nothing could be further from the truth, you know? So I just take it as he's confused about a great many things, you know, straight like that.
He's very confused. He's the last brain cell left. When y'all go in the room with that nigga, just understand he the last brain cell left.
Yeah, yeah. At least he ain't threatened your family yet, has he? That's
No,
what
Saint,
that's what
yeah,
they
he's
own,
no,
and covering that
I,
and protecting that.
Saint Cofer threatened me. Saint Cofer threatened me. People that stand with Sonny, his boy, they threatened me. They said, "Don't be surprised what happened to Immortal." So that means you threatened me.
In any case, as far as it goes with the elders and the ancestors and the work that they put in, uh, I'm always going to try to set the record straight of what they were about. That's one of my heroes. Is Dr. Francis Cress Wilson is one of my heroes, and I took time to understand what she had to teach myself to the best of my own ability, and I'm still learning from her teachings. I go back and listen to her lectures all the time and refer to her books all the time, you know, to refresh my mind as things do change. I use that to, you know, navigate through the changes. You know, I don't try to take it and throw it away and say, oh, well, this is something different. No, than what she said it was. She said exactly what she meant. And so did Neely Fuller Jr. So those are, especially Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. That's one of my heroes right there. She's right up there with Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali and people like that. She's right there with them, you know, right there.
Immortal, you said that she's your hero, right? That Dr. Francis Cress Wilson is one of your heroes, right? So
Yeah.
I want you to understand. See, people don't understand etymology and spellology and contextology. What's your name, sir? Kendra. Raharu. Buffalo. You the hero. The real. Gregory. Land the plane.
Yeah, man. So we got to take up for the science that's been kicked down. You know, we got to take up for that science. It's like they try to say that Black Americans didn't create the automobile, but we created the cars that people drive around. Uh, is basically the design of a Black American from back in the day. These combustible engines. Now I know they're moving on to electric cars now, but that was even conceived of from the mind of a Black American over 100 years ago. All these electric cars and shit ain't new. Tesla took a lot of Black people's work. Nikola Tesla, they like to talk about him, but where he get his work from? And you study that. And anyway, just like we're gonna hold on to the science that will produce what the world is doing today. Everybody travel around the planet in their cars, and they have to use the system that Black people originated to move the traffic lights and all this. And with Dr. You don't try to say that it's nothing other than what it is. And this science too. This science uh, is is some of her work was some of the most groundbreaking work in the last 200 years when it comes to her fields. And I really need people to not get on, you know, I need you to present it like it is, or else I'm just going to correct the matter. And if you be mad and upset, that's all right. You
Right.
know.
They can get mad all they want because I'm going to stand in truth because I know Dr. Francis Cress Wilson stood on truth. I know Neely Fuller stood on truth. So I'm going to stand with them versus y'all weird ass niggas that ain't probably read shit.
Yeah, man. But it's a weird day and time we live in, and I'm not for all the weird stuff. Like, don't come to me with, "Ooh, you need to chill. You need to do." No, the ones who when I'm doing the work for my people, what I can contribute, independent, compensatory actions that I take. Don't threaten me for it because now you're getting into something else. Now you're getting into something else, you know. And if you think that, and I know I'm guilty, I might be guilty of name calling and stuff, but that's generally not what we want to do. So all the disrespect that we have had to endure over the last year, all them little digs and the 35-year-old men calling us old. Nigga, I'm 7 years older than you. It's like you got dudes out here 35 years old calling conscious. You old nigga, you old nigga. I'm less than 10 years older than you. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like you're in a twilight zone or something. And the vile things some of the people say, you think Conscious just talking right now, you think he's being mean. No, you ought to hear some of the things they say. Some of the most vile, mean-spirited shit I've heard since grade school. Just vile and mean-spirited. Nothing behind it but venom. To try to want to psychologically or any kind of way harm a person. Call us dusty. What does that mean? Well, I looked in urban because I know what I think it means, but I looked in the urban dictionary. It says someone who is poor. That's the urban dictionary. When you talking about, we say somebody dusty, that basically means they're poor. So when you get mad and you on your little soapbox and you turn around, so you mad because I'm poor. That's what you're going to use. You're going to say, oh, well, you dusty. And like I'm supposed to be ashamed.
Right, right, right.
Like
I
I'm
just want
supposed to
to
be
just,
ashamed
right, right,
for being a
yeah,
victim of those system of white supremacy. Like, no,
right,
they
right,
should be ashamed for victimizing me. It's a
exactly.
shame the way they do my property. I'm not supposed to be poor. It's a shame how they've done my family property values around here. It's a shame how they've targeted us. All the little sewer districts, and every time we do, I'm not, I'm not the poorest one. I know I'm right. Depending on what day it is, I might be an inch above the poverty line. I might be an inch below it. But the point is, why would you call me dusty because you think I'm poor? That comes from a place.
Hold on, I gotta say this right here. Um, all you niggas, check the jumbotron, tweet my shit out. Don't nobody own me. I own myself. All that shit you talking about, I can stand on my own. I sit here and have laid out the game plan for us to get what we deserve, which means prioritizing lineage-based reparations. Tweet my shit out. Go to my .com. Cause subscribe to that. I'm done playing with y'all. I'm really not playing with y'all fuck ass niggas that ain't learned enough. Why? What the fuck? Outlaw media.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Niggas on some weird shit. Straight up.